Hey guys, here's a time-lapse video from everything I did on week 2. I'll be streaming on Twitch every day, weekdays around 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. and a little later on the weekends. I'll be adding progress updates as well as announcing when I'll be streaming on my Twitter. If anyone has any questions, just add them down below and I'll be sure to get to them. All links in the description. Today in the video, it's just going to be the 4 sketches that you see in the beginning. I'll just be describing my thought process as well as any ideas that come up as the video goes on. Here I'm just establishing the pose and the gesture. Once I do that, I add clothing, slowly adjusting things, trying to pick out a design, not being too clean with anything. As you can see, I use a lot of the lasso tool just to fix problems. It's really nice with Photoshop. As you draw, you can just full steam ahead kind of thing with, and then just fix proportions and stuff as you go, as opposed to pencil. With this one, I didn't want to spend too much time on the construction as I was trying to do these fairly quickly. So after I get a very rough idea of what I wanted, I started with the final line, the final line art. Not really 100% sure on cape folds and stuff. That's kind of why that looks kind of weird. And you see me come back to it a lot. I should probably have pulled something up or done a few more studies or something. Everything's fairly basic. I did a study, a Roman like centurion study thing before I started this, so a lot of fresh, fresh, how do you say? The topic is fresh. And then from everything that I don't pick up, it's obviously just using stuff I've drawn before or seen before, or something like that. It's quite a big pause there. Don't know why. Must have been talking to someone or something. All of these I do live on Twitch, which I said in the beginning. So if anyone has any questions on process or anything like that that I miss through these videos, yeah, you can just pop there and ask me. Not a lot to explain here. I'm trying to make it interesting, but at the same time, kind of lived in. Like, it mustn't be too clean and a little messy, because if you're traveling, you'll need pouches, and yeah, a small dagger is always useful for like skinning a kill or anything like that. Yeah, with swords or anything too straight, I usually go on a different layer and then try fix the perspective. You can alter it and stuff as you go. Yeah, and then just draw on top of it so it's not so clean. So yeah, not too much. Everything here is very straightforward. I always try to, when I do concepts uh, and that such, I try make the designs look a little lived in. Don't always succeed, but yeah, you can at least try. From here, some more lassoing, fixing proportions and stuff. I noticed the arm was just way too long. Adding some drop shadows, giving some form. I can often spend a little too much time doing, and then yeah, you lasso the silhouette out and drop colors. So yeah, everything's pretty straightforward. If there's any questions or they want me to go over topics or anything like that, just add them in the Discord. So I have a few ideas of what you guys will you want me to talk about. Yeah, so just dropping in colors, trying to make the design stand out a bit. When I first started these, I just wanted them mainly to be line art, and the color was something I added just so people could see what was going on. Yeah, what was going on with the designs. But now, these are all for like a project of mine that I'm doing. That I started them, I might actually go through and take the lines out and make it a little more painterly. If I'm going to keep with the colors, I should add deeper blacks and stronger highlights and take out all the line work everywhere. I'll get to that later. It's just something at the moment I'm working over as I've been doing the monster sketches for the project. It slowly evolved into just me painting basically instead of doing line art and just adding a little bit of colors. So yeah, a little noodling with the background shouldn't have been important since at this point in time I wasn't going to even use the background for the final product. In the face a little bit. This is usually the go-to lighting I have for faces. Direct light on with a cool light. So you can see there was like a brief flash of some studies, in muscle studies and stuff, before doing the archer for this one. All of these I've already posted the finals on my DeviantArt and all my basically. I just haven't had a chance to get the video. I wasn't too sure how I wanted to edit it and kind of narration out of the top. I decided on just talking over instead of adding music. So I just talk. Yeah, yeah. I wanted like a samurai, but everyone always does like the samurai sword, obviously, those kinds of samurai. So I wanted more of like a Japanese kind of thing going on. But their bows are super awkward to put in a frame. To do any kind of action pose with one of their bows is their bows are huge. It's like way bigger than a longbow or anything like that. So the one I add looks kind of more like a longbow, but it's the only one I could fit really. So this is basic stuff. See why I did a few little freshen up studies on like chest muscles and stuff. This one I had a lot of problem with the proportions and the angle stuff. I was just trying to wing the hands. I should really go through and do more intensive hand studies. I haven't done that in a long time. I remember seeing somewhere that there was a samurai something that had, yeah, his shirt off, and he had like a shoulder, like one of his shoulder armor, and was tied down. So I was trying to do that in this one. It was pretty cool. I ended up looking for that reference. Oh, but yeah. For with these, I try to do them from imagination and use studies and stuff to supplement. And sometimes if I'm reeling and I've already started the video, I usually just I will try to pull some, but the whole point of these is to get better at imagination drawing as well as do videos and all that stuff. Trying to add as get out. How do I say it? Trying to use my time as best I can. So like practice imagination, practice talking the stream, which I'm failing at, and getting videos and all that kind of stuff. These are just some face studies. I left this in just to show what kind of or what the studies kind of look. I think at this point it was the next day, and I just wanted to warm up. I started on the sketch again, so yeah, I did these a bit. It's always good to do little studies every day or throughout your work. So say you're working 8 hours and something like that. Whenever you find problems, just do a little study. It'll help with you'll retain the information a lot you're directly using and you found a problem that you have. So it's always a good way of getting better. And at least when you start, it's always good to start from imagination first just to see what real issues you're having. And over time, you find less and less issues and you can wing things a little more successfully. I tried to make him like more Asian, but it wasn't very successful. Everyone that sees the face is like, oh, this looks like this person, or this looks like a white guy, or yeah, they're a few actor names. And I don't think it looks like them at all. So this one I spent quite a long time, probably double the amount of time doing the line art. I don't know. Maybe I didn't warm up enough or something when I started this, but yeah, I was doing way too much. And I mean like double the time of the Centurion guy, the soldier. Yeah, you'll see me come to the face quite a lot. It just didn't look right. I was having a lot of trouble with this one. So the audio for these are going to be kind of messy. These are just firsts, and I'm just going to compile the image, or how do you say, export the video and then just upload it. I've been trying to find time to go through like well edited, but it's just getting where I have too many, like too much of a backlog now of weeks to do now, and I have any, so it's just getting to the point where I have to get them out there. So Sorry guys if the quality of the audio isn't as good. I wanted to maybe use the audio I do on the stream, but there's been too many that I don't literally say nothing. Or I talk, but we're just talking about random stuff. It's nothing helpful or educational. A lot of trouble with the samurai swords. I wasn't too sure. Like I had done samurai swords in the past, too sure what they look like. I remember the triangle, I wasn't too sure how it twisted around. So yeah, weird problems. I've done armor set for quite a while, so I've done a lot of studies of different armors and cultures. But if it comes to something simple, like if I had to draw scenery from a landscape or something from imagination, I probably wouldn't be able to, or it wouldn't look very convincing. Like I could maybe draw a tree and a building and stuff like that, but all the little things, the shapes and like the how would you say it? Like the good compositions and stuff, I would need reference, like a lot of it probably. And usually when I do my work, really worried how much the reference I'm looking at. I have started to try do less and less reference in the beginning. So you get the design out and a little, and then you see what weakness you're having to, and that helps with the topic of what to study that day. I don't know if this is like the most effective thing to do, the lassoing this silhouette out and adding color. I tend to like it, so I do it. It comes with a lot of like some problems, like the silhouette is sharp, and you have to soften things as you go sometimes if you're taking this to finish. But it is a quick way to just block things in. Yeah, once again, spending way too much time on a background that's not like these are supposed to be. Now looking back, I should have maybe even just had just some shadows or something, like left the color entirely. I wanted these to look good for Instagram, and that's slowly what started driving them to look more and more finished, or like the backgrounds more and more complex, not just shapes anymore, but starting to define some of the shapes. So yeah, this stuff's pretty blocking in colors, adding a bit of lighting, and how I choose my colors and values is just comes with practice. Just do it like, oh, this looks about right. By no means do I have very good control. I don't control my values very well for the most part. I try to um, help that by when I do illustrations and stuff, depths where these are where all the really dark shadows are. These are where the light hits, like these are where the sharpest highlight should be. Focus those around the focal points. And I do characters. It's usually just you can't do too many really dark shadows. You lose a little bit too much of the design sometimes because these will be taken in and 3D rendered. So you can't do too much dramatic lighting for them. Yeah, some more fiddling with that looks terrible. I think the two mountains evenly shaped on each side kind of looks weird. I should have maybe sketched it out a bit more, the mountain range in it, as more hollow bowl shape, and it might have looked better with this scene. Onto the next. I always start with those circles and stuff. It's to warm up my hand, and you hear some really quick like warm up stuff to wake up. So not really like trying to get the right form or anything really. Just yeah, just scribbling. Each line is the line you keep kind of thing. I don't do too many females. I should probably study more, do more of females, or at least do more female characters in my work. It's usually I'm doing monsters or like dudes. Of the gig I have, there's not a lot of females that I've done. There's females in the game, obviously, but I just haven't done a lot of it. For the longest time now, I've been just doing monsters. It's fun. You don't have to worry too much about anatomy or proportions. You can always just exaggerate things. So yeah, I have a ton of issues with this one as well. Back to back, the samurai, not a good time, and then that's a problem as well. Yeah, I try to keep the gesture or the pose I've chosen, but yeah, fix the anatomy over the top, which still looks wrong, but yeah, it's nothing I could do. I also have a lot of trouble with the neck and the shoulders, like how far the head should look natural and stuff. I'm noticing now that I just turn it a little too much, so I should like in this pose, her head should have probably down, and the eye that's closest to the camera should have been tilted more instead of doing such flat plane on the face. Made her face kind of look weird. Like you see, as I go, I give her more flat her eyebrows, and that's what makes it. I wanted to give her nonchalance kind of expression, like a kind of aggressive, kind of nonchalant, like a tough, but it didn't really work. She just kind of looks deadpanned, and her neck's too long for her shoulders. I really like the hairstyles and stuff they did in Vikings, so I tried to incorporate it here. I messed it up a bit, but at least, yeah, not everything you try be successful. Or most of what you try is going to be unsuccessful. Yeah, the more problems I have with something, I tend to spend longer and longer, and each step gets longer and longer just because I'm having issues. So drawing and then going into more and more detail with it, like going into as good construction as I can do and that kind of stuff. So the longer I take with an image, usually it's because I'm having trouble. And that's okay. That's just how things go sometimes. I remember I was having fun putting the clothes on though, like designing her outfit. That was pretty good. As you can see, there I was adding deep shadows from the get-go, instead of drawing the whole outline out and then quickly adding shadows, which probably would have gone faster. I'm always to make the character look like they're actually standing on the ground, like that plane. So it usually helps when you a lot of shadow on the feet connecting to the ground and you add some foliage or something like that. It makes them look more grounded even if the perspective is wrong. So it's a little trick that can help you guys. I was kind of happy with it at this point, but as I started adding color and I started seeing a lot of the issues, especially with the face and yeah. So with this one, I tried to do something designy but fast for the background. So add a little bit of like a cloud and do a little bit of color, just so it's not a boring gray, but it's also nice and fast. So yeah, yeah. Also here, I should have added more flat instead of trying to render it out the whole time. Might look a bit better. And I think with here, I could have made her hair in the wind rather. I think that would have looked a lot better than have the hair evenly on each side. Kind of looks weird looking back at it. And the last one, probably one of the fastest. I wanted to do like a cool hunting pose, but I was limited that these are gonna go on their final, how to explain it? They are gonna go on like rectangle shapes, like cards. So the square, I would say, the canvas size is square now, mainly because when I upload it to Instagram, don't do very well with rectangles. Like if you do long illustrations, you have to chop it because of the way their cropping and stuff works in Instagram. It's kind of annoying. So a lot of these square canvas to like just make it easier to upload. But the final thing for the project, they'll all be on like card shapes, so rectangles, like long rectangles. So I had to keep a lot of their um, gesture and stuff in a confined space, so it wouldn't crop funny when I put it on the card. This one, it would have maybe looked a little better if I flattened the spear out a bit more, not had it go straight up, but I was dealing constraints, and that's why I kind of went with this very rectangle shape. Hopefully that makes sense. This one was fairly quick, I remember, I think. I'd have to check the actions, but So obviously with these, I try to give a good sense of their culture and where they're from, but I won't be 100% accurate. I didn't study or like research their and that kind of stuff and exactly why they wore it and who wore it and which cultures and which tribes. So especially for this one, it was just what I could find to study and what I liked, and I just nitpicked, added it together. So it might be amalgamation of a few different tribes, the clothing and the beads and stuff she's wearing, but yeah, it's just made up. So I wanted her mostly covered up, but to look like she comes from a very hot climate, like deserts and stuff of Africa. And I think I like the end product. It, it was more cel shaded and stuff in the ending, which is kind of what I was trying for. So after I did the samurai and the maiden, then I was like, this one I'm definitely going to spend less time on and up the pace with these. But in contrast, when she's put alongside the other, she does finish. Oh, I think I lost a bit of um, the recording for the background there. Yeah, it just jumps. Oh yeah, I think it crashed. This is a few weeks now, but I think at the time, yeah, it was recording and then the crashed, which is frustrating. That's frustrating. So yeah, it's pretty simple process through each of these. Pretty much the same process of completion. Some of them I was faster than others. Not sure what the next video I have lined up is, but yeah, hopefully I'll get around to that soonish. Because the day that goes by, I'm recording every day with the Twitch, so I'm getting more and more stuff to upload to YouTube, and it's just I need to find a way to quickly get through it, so it's not taking too much of my time and get through some of the backlog. Let me know if you guys like me just adding commentary over the top, or if you would prefer just music or something. Yeah. Thanks everyone for thanks everyone for coming.